Hi, I'm Tom Birkeland, author of An Introduction to the Policy Process and professor of public policy at North Carolina State University. I hope you enjoy the book, and I hope you find these videos useful. In Chapter 4, I discuss official actors and their roles in public policy. When we speak of official actors in public policy, we are speaking of the people that work in the institutions of government that are created by law under our constitutional order. With the U.S. Constitution in mind, I discussed the three branches of government to organize our discussion of official actors. Those branches, of course, are the executive, legislative, and judicial branches. Now, I'm sure you heard a lot about these three branches of government and the idea of the separation of powers or the checks and balances in a course on American government and civics. And that's a good overview of the way that the American constitutional order is structured, but it's a little oversimplified. An important lesson to take from Chapter 4 is that all three branches of government overlap in important ways. For example, the legislative branch, in holding oversight hearings or approving appointments for federal office, is involved in the activities of the executive branch, and they shape public policy implementation. Conversely, the executive branch makes regulations that implement the laws that Congress has passed. That's a form of legislative activity, so it looks a lot like the legislative branch's activities. And then the judicial branch makes laws itself, which one would assume is a legislative activity. Those laws are known as case law, and those are as important to the policy process as our statute laws, that is, the laws that are made by the legislature. You may have heard people say that the courts should simply interpret the law, not make the law, but it's not quite that simple, and that's not the way our legal system works in the United States. A key feature of this chapter is a discussion of the bureaucracy, that is, the part of the government that implements policy that consists primarily of civil servants, that is, people who have their jobs based on their qualifications rather than their political connections. A big question in American politics throughout its history has been, how big should the federal government be? How much money should it spend? How much should it be involved in various policy areas? And our discussion of the bureaucracy will delve into these issues. Now, you might imagine that these aren't the only actors in the policy process. In a democratic society such as ours, we have a number of unofficial actors, such as interest groups, the news media, think tanks, other organizations that also have an influence on or serve as inputs into the public policy process. Now, we'll consider those in Chapter 5, and by the time you're done reading Chapters 4 and 5, you'll have a pretty good sense of who the players are in the process, and then we can start to talk about some process aspects of the policy process. Thanks for watching this video. As always, I really enjoy hearing from students and teachers about the book and about public policy. Feel free to reach out to me at tom@tombirkeland.com or visit my website, tombirkeland.com. Thanks again for watching.